Hey guys, it's Worgen. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be editing one of my previous drawings. This is the drawing of my character, Blitz Worgen, and I figured that I would try and make him a bit more scary for Halloween. I'm trying to figure out how I would improve on his concept to make him just a little bit more terrifying for this Halloween. It's currently a little over a week away. And so I figured right now I'm kind of out of footage. I need to record more Silent Hill tomorrow. Um, but right now it's about 2:30 in the morning, so I'm trying to keep my voice down. I do have a day off, so hopefully tomorrow I can get as much footage as I can ready to go. And yeah, let's get right into it. Today, what I've been debating is I might actually open up a small portion of his face and reveal it as like a little bit of a skull, or maybe like around the eye. I think that could be a good place for us to start. So we're going to resize our brush and we're going to select a bit of a darker gray just to kind of start off, well, a darker white, I should say, because it's a skull, it's not anything like that. So let's see. I'm going to start on another layer. I'm going to want to do this on a separate layer, at least just to begin. I'm going to kind of circle out the area that I might want to have like torn up a little bit. Maybe like a little bit down there. Yeah, okay. And definitely going to want it to like stretch down here so we can see a little bit of the exposed cheekbone. Let me think. What else could we could kind of make it look like a little gash. So maybe kind of do it like this. Yes, that's a bit better. We're going to fill it in nice and quick. In fact, we can probably just use the fill tool to kind of fill in everything as quick as possible. It doesn't quite get all over the edges, so you kind of have to go in and fix the rest. I don't know if there's a way to improve the fill tool in this software at all. I'm just using Krita. That's a nice free to use software for anybody who wants to get into digital art. Um, don't feel like you need anything super crazy if you're first getting into digital art. Honestly, you might be surprised how much you can do with just a pen. Or heck, not even you don't need anything with a pen or anything. Try just drawing with your mouse. I know it sounds really hard, really difficult, but you might be surprised what you can get done that way. Okay, we're going to make the eye socket a little bit more open because the eye socket's definitely a lot larger than what we would perceive on the surface of any creature. It's a lot larger than the eye, so it can fit the eye in. I might need to add a little more along the edges, a little more skull, just to try and fit it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now, let's grab that dark color. We're going to copy that over, and we're just going to start putting it all around the eye, just like this. Okay. Usually when you start off these, they don't really seem super impressive when you first start. You always sit there and you wonder, man, is this going to turn out good? What do I do here to improve this? And over the course of the project, you might surprise yourself. Don't give up just because you think something is about to go wrong, or just because you think a few things don't look quite right, because everything always tends to work out in the end. Once you add the shading, it makes it pop, and some of what you think might be your worst mistakes could turn out to be something amazing. I've had a few art projects, especially back in college. Um, I used to kind of struggle with, I don't know, being positive about my artwork. I always found it difficult to accept that I'm not a perfect artist, and I'm really not. In fact, I'm really kind of lacking. But I found that it's better to just enjoy the process, just have fun, and make as many little details as you want as you have time for. If you can only make small sketches, you know what? That is perfectly fine. No one's going to judge you for it, and you might be surprised. A lot of people might like your artwork. I've had a lot of small creators that I've seen on the rise, and it's been really nice to see the kind of passion that they have for art, and I love to kind of encourage that kind of behavior. I love to see people who are willing to put forth the effort to get better and not give up. So if you're just getting into art and you're not sure where to start, um, I think one of the best places to go is to at least try and find some friends or find an online group full of artists that can support you. Um, I found that Discord is a great place for that. You can look online and see if you can find like an art Discord that you can join, or if you have any, I don't know, if you're even curious about learning how to draw or learning how to go into a field in drawing, like maybe you have a little bit of experience, don't be afraid to maybe look online and see if there's any tutorials for drawing that can really help you skyrocket your abilities. For me, what I found is I actually would sit there and trace. I would trace things all the time to try and get a feel for like the muscle memory and how it'll affect my drawing in the future. And it ended up having more of an effect than I thought it would. It completely affected my art style. It made it a lot cleaner. I found that as I started tracing, I was able to make much more steady lines. I didn't sit there and I would actually be able to outline something without it looking like a ragged mess, like a sketch, I guess. And like I said before, I'm still not very good. I have a long way to go. I am very proud of this. This wasn't commissioned or anything. This actually was something I sketched up the other day. It was based off of my old profile picture. I don't know if anybody's been around long enough to see that. Um, but I actually went around the edges. I gave the fur details and I darkened the eye to kind of fit more into what he looks like in game in World of Warcraft. And I had an absolute blast redesigning him and making something super cool. I love maybe once a year revisiting these kinds of projects, you know? I've always thought that it's super fun to make my own reiterations of things that I had made before. Um, okay, let's add some more detail around like the sides to give it a little bit of depth around like the sides of the socket. And better yet, some shadows for where it kind of splits off. Okay. It's getting there. It's definitely getting there. It feels like it's missing a few things. I'm not sure. I feel like the shadows are kind of hard to notice here. It'll definitely be important down here because it's showing a little bit of depth here and the cheekbone. That's a little too dark. Or a little too much shading, so we're going to thin out that shadow by adding some more light color there. Perfect. Now, I think that's good enough. I don't know if I need to add any extra shadows just yet. I'm not going to worry about it. I need to focus on the creative process. Now, for something a little more difficult, we're going to try and add maybe it's going to kind of gross some people out, but we're going to add little bits of flesh. You could see where it's like separated. Okay, yeah. Bit of a small detail, but a good one nonetheless. Might need to make it a little bit thicker, just to kind of accentuate it. But it's getting there. That's for sure. As you can tell, I don't have a very steady hand. Unfortunately, it just kind of runs in my family. I never really have had a steady hand, but I make do. I always do. We're going to kind of smooth this out with a blending brush that I got online. It was completely free. A very amazing tool that has helped me immensely when it comes to texturing and figuring things out. I usually don't tend to do too much, or I guess, what am I saying? I I try to keep the brush as intense as possible so that it does transfer a lot of the texture, if that makes any sense. I don't like it when it's just like too smoothly blended. I like it to have texture. I mean, the best example of this is around here on the edges. Um, when I was first doing that, it's literally just going through and using the brush just bit by bit across the edges, one stroke at a time. It definitely took some time. My hand was on fire by the time I was done, but it was so worth it. It looked. I'm very proud of it, at least. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments if you like the new redesign. I do like the spreading of the shadows across to like the different parts of it. One thing I would recommend when it comes to texturing is trying to keep the lines as uniform as possible. You want them all going in the same, or at least relatively the same direction. Otherwise, they're going to seem a bit sketchy and a little bit off, kind of rugged. And we're not going for rugged, we're going for texturized. Which, although the line is thin, it is there. At least, depending on how you want to do it. Art is something that you never have to feel like you have to conform in one way. You have, as an artist, full creative control over what you want. If some people like it, good. If some people don't, that's alright. At the end of the day, you draw whatever makes you happy. And just have fun and become the better you that you want to be. Now, for this top bit, I'm actually going to add a little bit of a shadow here on the top of the eye socket. I want that to be a little bit darker just to accentuate that the light is kind of coming from behind or like up top. Um, Also might need like a slight shadow over here to accentuate the light coming from the bottom right. Overall, some parts of it need to be lighter and some parts of it need to be darker in order for it to portray as a 3D image. It's a difficult balance to strike. Right. Yeah, looking good, dude. Nice. Now it's getting there. It is getting there. What I might do is I might add a little bit of blood. So anybody who doesn't want to see that, um, I don't know, you'd probably see it inside the thumbnail, so I'd probably click off right around now. I do appreciate you sticking around as long as you did. It's very kind of you. I hope you enjoyed, at least to this point. As for everybody who's staying, we're going to go with a little bit of a darker color as a base, and we're going to have the more saturated parts for the light accents, I guess you could say. Actually, come to think of it, let's add a new layer, just so we're not messing up anything on the previous layer. We want that to stay just as is, though I did leave a small dot there. Perfect. Now we're good. So we're going to have it coming out of the eye socket a little bit. Gross. Gonna have it dip into like the sides of the mouth for a second, and then it's going to start heading back down. Okay. Slowly coming together. I might make it a little bit thicker. And that is just the first bit down there. We're gonna have it pull around right here in the middle of the accent. There we go. Yeah, that's more like it. But down here towards the front, once again, we're gonna have it pull just a little bit. It's two streams. On our third and final one, I think more than three is a bit overkill. This one's just gonna kind of hide in this little crevice a bit. I don't even know if I'm gonna have this stretch all the way down. Not much left down there. Yeah, maybe I will have it stretch all the way down just for uniformity. We'll have it kind of combined there. I don't draw blood very often, so it does make it kind of difficult when you want to simulate how it would drip. Nah, I might just cut it off around there. Hmm. Let me think. I feel like it might split off a little bit in like different places. Yeah, that's more like it. Maybe that little bit of pulling at the bottom. I don't know. I feel like it's not having the effect I wanted. So we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get rid of that. Have it curve around just a little bit. Nice. Whew, that is looking freaky. Creepy. That drip down a little bit down this side. Yeah. Perfect. That looks a lot better to me, at least. Might have it drip off a little bit here. I'll have it end about like right there. Yeah. That's looking gnarly. My goodness. Let me think. I feel like I could definitely smooth this out a little bit. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to see on this tiny little screen I have down here. Uh, Decent way through my digital art journey, I finally got my hands on a drawing tablet, but I do regret not bothering to try and do it sooner. I sat there and I always thought I needed a tablet, but you'd be surprised how often I do edits and do all sorts of stuff with my drawings without it, without my drawing pad. Because the truth is, it's not as necessary as you might think. It was super strange, and maybe it's just me. Maybe this is just something that I do, but I just think it is worth it to try, and it pays off. It absolutely does. And you know the cool thing, the lower end, um, the lower end drawing tablets and such go for an actual really decent price, which kind of shocked me. Gonna start a new layer for some little accents. There we go. Does that look? Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. Pretty much everywhere it would split off, it tends to have a slight reflection. It's a hard thing to get down, but once you do, it looks really nice. Or at least as nice as it can look for blood. Then, that seems a bit much. A little too many. Don't want to go too crazy with it. Just down there at the bottom. Truth is, I thought this blood would be a little bit of a darker color when I originally picked it. It doesn't seem like it retained that dark color that I thought it did, because now that I'm looking up at my actual monitor, the color is popping out very differently from what I expected. It's not unpleasant. It just stands out a little more than I thought it would. Now, I am going to add a small amount of shadow. I'm going to lower the opacity on this layer and up the brush size just a little bit. And we're going to make it a little bit darker just down here on the edges. Yeah, you can see it working its magic. Just a little bit. I'm going to turn the opacity up. Yeah, that's more like it. But like I said towards the beginning of the video, if you use Krita as a software, it is an amazing starting point and even ending point for artists. It was made by artists for artists. And I mean, I do anything from editing my thumbnails to um, drawing stuff just like this on this software, and it makes it super easy. You can export it as any type of file you want. If you need a JPEG, you got a JPEG. If you need a PNG, you have a PNG. You can even animate on this software. I did a very, it was only a 2-frame animation because my friend wanted me to do a remix of the cat making like the popping noises with its mouth. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I mean, it's it's a hard meme to put into words because it's just so dumb. Um, but I made a small rendition of my character instead of the cat doing that. It was silly. I always love doing dumb stuff like that with my friends. Most of my friends aren't artists yet, but some of them are showing interest in it, which has me very excited. Um, Especially One Man, One Legacy's been talking to me about it, and that man has some potential. He has an eye for this sort of thing, and I really hope that one day he pursues it. Because I don't know, it'd be fun having somebody who understands. Plasma Torchic is also very good at art. He's learning bit by bit to do animation these days, and some of them are turning out really, really good. He's a huge fan of stuff like anime and all that. And I mean, so am I. Just finished watching Solo Leveling a little while ago. So good. I love his English voice actor for the main character. Still need to finish stuff like Log Horizon, but we'll get there when we get there. Um, let's add a little bit of shadows to this, to the other sides of this. Looks alright. I don't know if it's necessary. This is all part of the creative process. The nice thing is, if you don't like something, Control Z. Just hold it down until it goes away. And then if you want to redo something, Control Shift Z. So if we go all the way back, yep, that's about where I stopped. Nice. You know, I actually quite like that. I like that quite a bit. I'm going to add one final effect to the eye. I'm going to add a little bit of glow around it. So I'm going to copy its color in the brightest area. Perfect. I'm going to change the size of my brush. We're on a new layer right now. It is on a low opacity. We're just going to add a nice yellow glow. Then we're going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And I think down here towards the center, it could be a little less intense. I want that glow to be intense, but I don't want it to take over the eye, you know? Um, that's kind of killing it around the edges. So what we're going to do is instead, we're just going to reveal the eye right there. I think I'm still going to keep that little shine right there because it's insinuating that underneath all this darkness there is like an eye still there. Um, let's see. I'm seeing a little bit of color poking out there, or not color, but a little bit of something brighter kind of poking out in the middle there. I'm gonna cover that up. Yeah, wait a second. It needs to be that color. That was a little too yellow, the color that I picked. You always have to be careful with what colors you pick after everything is already edited, because if there's any interlapping colors, then you probably have a bit of a problem on your hands. Now that glow's a little too intense, so I'm going to lower that down a little bit. And we're going to add a much smaller circle around it of yellow as the little bit of sheen there. And that looks pretty good. Then free the pupil, just so it kind of punctures through the image, I guess. I'm debating if that's a good look or not. I kind of like it. In that, after about 34 minutes, is my Halloween Worgen changes. I might do one of these videos for Christmas and change my YouTube profile to that as well. But so far, I like this quite a bit. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope this was, I don't know, maybe at least a little bit entertaining for you guys. I do my best to upload daily, and this is about what I could really scrounge up at the moment. But I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you did too. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow with another daily upload. Take care, guys.